Now, that holds true until you go recruit people. Now, that's my biggest challenge with this, well, not my biggest, but one of my biggest challenges with this compensation plan is before you actually have been in the business and before you actually understand what the products are that you're selling and how they really truly impact people long term, you haven't even been in the business long enough to really understand what you're doing, and you're out there and they force you to go out and recruit people and get your friends and family to the table before your product knowledge and understanding is where it belongs. Now, I just am a believer. While I love MLM, while I love network marketing, having this mindset of recruit over and above anything else as the focus of everything, I understand it's good for you, it's good for your business, it's good to build fast, and that focus is certainly beneficial for the agent and for the agency who's your upline. But I would encourage you that if you are not contemplating the impact that that has on people, if you sell them a product that you don't understand and you're not truly aware and don't have the education to understand what you're doing for people, that has the potential to seriously damage relationships, right? And it has a potential to put you in the crosshairs of trouble. Are you thinking about joining the PHP Agency? Well, I got 4 questions that you need to make sure you ask your recruiter before you sign on the dotted line and join. Check this out. So the first question that I want you to ask your PHP recruiter is, what is the starting compensation? Let's break it down like this. Most of the time, PHP agencies, and I've done other videos on this, on the compensation plan and how all the moral hazards are built into it. So I figured I'd do this video breaking down these questions to ask to really get into like holding people to the fire and understanding what this industry really is like, and ultimately how you don't really need to be involved with PHP Agency in order to build your own agency, right? Like it just is what it is. In fact, there are so many moral hazards built into this plan and so much deceit, I'll call it, that it's just almost incomprehensible to me. So the first question, once again, going into this is, what is your compensation to start? Now, as a general rule of thumb, PHP Agency starts you off at about 30% for your first policies. Now, that holds true until you go recruit people. Now, that's my biggest challenge with this, well, not my biggest, but one of my biggest challenges with this compensation plan is before you actually have been in the business and before you actually understand what the products are that you're selling and how they really truly impact people long term, you haven't even been in the business long enough to really understand what you're doing, and you're out there and they force you to go out and recruit people and get your friends and family to the table before your product knowledge and understanding is where it belongs. Now, I just am a believer. While I love MLM, while I love network marketing, having this mindset of recruit over and above anything else as the focus of everything, I understand it's good for you, it's good for your business, it's good to build fast, and that focus is certainly beneficial for the agent and for the agency who's your upline. But I would encourage you that if you are not contemplating the impact that that has on people, if you sell them a product that you don't understand and you're not truly aware and don't have the education to understand what you're doing for people, that has the potential to seriously damage relationships, right? And it has a potential to put you in the crosshairs of trouble. Now, like from a legal perspective and a compliance perspective with E&O coverage and all that stuff, if you sell people policies improperly, you are at risk for that. Now, I don't think you should have to go out and recruit people. In fact, to be able to build your commission. In fact, I think it should be the other way around. I don't think you should be able to recruit people until you've proven a certain level of competency to go out there and actually serve people. That's one of my biggest challenges, is the fact that they start you off too low of a compensation, and they force you to go out and recruit people to elevate your compensation when it should be the other way around. You should have to be able to start with a higher compensation, and you should be able to sell a certain amount of policies before you're allowed to go recruit. Now that gets me to my second question that you need to ask is, can you earn commissions on your own policies? Now, they're going to tell you that it's just industry standard that you don't earn commissions on your own policies, and that is a flat out lie. The reality is you can earn commissions on your own policies. In fact, people all over the world, all over the country at least, earn commissions on their own policies. That's standard industry practice, is that you get paid to write your own business. It's one of the benefits of being an agent. They just don't want that part of their culture, because what it does is it slows things down. If you were able to write commissions on your own policies, what would happen is you'd have to get your license first. And what happens is when you join the PHP agency, there's typically a lot of pressure on you to get your policy in place before you're even licensed, right? That's just kind of part of their process. They put that pressure on you, which once again, going back to question number one, what that does is it puts you in pressure. So you're out there and you're building and you're recruiting and you're doing all these things and you're trying to get through this thing before you're even licensed and you even know what's going on. And so while they try to push you on the fact that it's not industry standard to earn money on your own commissions, I don't think it's right that they don't allow you to earn commissions on your own policies, because everywhere else, pretty much outside of PHP and WFG and PFA, they allow you to earn commissions on your own policies. To me, that is just one of the greatest moral hazards in this compensation plan. So the third question that you need to ask your PHP recruiter is, do I own my own business? Do I own my renewals in my business? You see, when you sell life insurance, there's a couple components to the life insurance policy. You're going to get paid a commission up front for selling a policy, but you also get annual renewals on those policies. So it's beautiful because you get to build in a residual income. It's one of the greatest benefits of being a life insurance agent is you can do that. And the reason that they pay you those renewals is because you're supposed to have annual policy reviews with your clients. And so it's a way to compensate you for servicing the business that you have in force, right? Like that's the purpose of it. Now, what happens here is over the long run, when you run your business, when you build a company, you typically have and own that business as an independent agent. When you join PHP, what happens is they own your business, they own your renewals. So if you decide to make a change 3, 4, 5, 10 years out, what happens is they have these golden handcuffs on you because you cannot get out of it. If you do leave, they keep all your renewals, they keep all your business, and all that passive income that you built goes out the window. Whereas if you were an independent agent and you built it up, all of that stuff becomes vested from day one, and they cannot take that away from you. The company will not take that away from you as long as you stay in good standing, don't break the law, don't do anything stupid, right? And so that is a big reason. If you are interested in building your own agency, if you want to build something significant and actually control your life, control your future, it's really important to not get tied in with a company that is going to basically control your destiny for you. So the fourth question that I would ask your PHP recruiter is, what percent of training is on products versus recruiting? Now, I know they sell a lot of concepts about training on products, but I promise you, if you go check out my Index Universal Life training playlist on my YouTube channel here, that is, and I'll link it above if you want to go check it out. But if you go check that out, that's going to teach you more about Index Universal Life than anything is going to teach you with PHP. Now, I used to be the head of business development for National Life Group, and I used to represent that product a lot. And until I found out really how it functions, it was one of those things. Like once I found out how it functions, I guess is the way to put that, I realized I couldn't represent this product anymore. I couldn't, with good faith, put this in front of people because the life insurance company shifts all the risk to the policyholder. They have the ability to change fees. They have the ability to lower cap rates. They have the ability to effectively take all the risk and put it on you, the policyholder. Think about it this way, and this is vital. This is extremely important to understand. We just came through the greatest bull run in the history of the stock market. The greatest bull run in the history of the stock market. Index Universal Life's story is upside potential, downside protection. That is everything they go for. Now, in this greatest bull run with upside potential, because it's tied to the performance of the S&P 500, you would think through indexing and through buying options in the S&P 500 index, you would think that in that great bull run, the IULs would have outperformed the market, right? Like that's just common sense. If it can't perform well in a bull market, how's it going to perform in a poor market? Well, I just launched a thing called the IUL Challenge. And I'm doing this because of the fact that I know these policies will never perform and that the solution, and this is really challenging for me because I believe, like one of the things I can say is I love Patrick Bet-David and I love a lot of things that he says. I just watched him at a keynote last week and I agreed with everything he said on stage. The only thing I don't agree with him on is the solution that he's offering people because it's actually going to hurt people. Now, here's what I can say is this IUL challenge that I've got going on, and all you PHP agents, I call you to a challenge. I challenge you to this. Find your upline, find your mentor, and get them to show you a policy that's 10 years old or more, that's out of surrender period with National Life Group. Find a policy that's more than 10 years old, out of surrender period, where the illustration that was submitted with the policy and then an in-force illustration of the current, and they should have both. You have access to both as the agent. Show me with the in-force illustration outperforming the original illustration, which during the greatest bull run of the market, you should have no problem. If these things are as good as they say they are, that should happen almost every single time in the last environment that we're doing, as long as they're structured properly, right? So from an agency perspective, if you're really looking to serve people, help people, people helping people, if that's really what you're looking to do, this should be, I should be flooded with phone calls. I should be flooded with comments. I should be flooded with emails at chris@life180.com. I should be flooded with this stuff to show me exactly, how many policies they have. I mean, I would assume I would get thousands of emails. And guess what? I've been doing this now. I launched this challenge about a month ago. I've got over 70,000 views of content between TikTok and YouTube. And I've got nothing. Not one person has come forward and been able to show me that they have a policy that's actually performed and done what they said it was going to do. That is a real problem. And that's the number one reason that I don't use Index Universal Life and that I use Whole Life, because Whole Life does what it says it's going to do. And with Index Universal Life not performing, what they're going to do when it comes back to training, when it comes back to product knowledge and understanding, all they do is they focus on the hype. They focus on the indexing and all these different things that go on. They don't focus on really what the backbone of the product is and how it's actually going to perform. And that's a big problem. And the problem is, I know most people looking to join PHP really are doing it because they want to serve people. And then it's a bit of a bait and switch, because you get into this and you don't know what you don't know. And you are told that you need to just trust your upline, go out and sell policies, go out and sell product before you even know what's going on, buy it for yourself. It's very much an internal consumption model. They make a lot of their business and a lot of their money off recruiting, which, believe me, I get you should have your own policy, because if you're going to be selling something, you should buy into it to the point that you're buying one for yourself. So I have no problem with that. But if you are going to buy one for yourself, you should get compensated for it, period. But they don't allow you to. So the combination of all these things that I'm talking about are like a lot of the main reasons that I don't like PHP as an organization. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's MLM or network marketing, because I love MLM and network marketing. I think it's an amazing way for people to make extra income. I think there's a lot of problems when you mix personal finance in with network marketing and you make it about recruiting and hype, because now you're messing with people's financial livelihoods. Now you're messing with people's personal finances as you're going out and selling them financial products and getting them to transition out of certain assets into this asset that's never going to perform the way that they're sold. That's a big challenge. So anyway, if you have any questions, if you reach out, I'm sure I'm going to get all sorts of feedback on this, but here's what I can say. Share this with your upline. Share this with people. I challenge anybody that has an IUL, bring it. Let me see it. If you got an IUL that's outperformed the original submitted illustration that's more than 10 years old and out of surrender period, because what happens is, as the policies get older, as they get near the end of surrender period, they drop the performance down, they drop the cap rates, they increase the fees, they do all these different things, and it happens systematically. The IUL companies are able to control all the moving parts and all the levers that make it so you either do or don't make the amount of money that it's sold to you as. And at the end of the day, there's a history of these life insurance companies with the traditional universal life market from the 80s and 90s. When those imploded, they're always going to look after their own back and not the policyholders. So I don't know about you, but I believe history has a habit of repeating itself, and Index Universal Life is going to go the way of the VUL and the UL, and here we are. So the chassis is still the same. So if you have any questions, reach out, comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell that we get notified every time I launch a new video. And until next video, have a blessed, inspirational day. I hope you found value in this, and we'll talk soon. Take care.